Hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ. Thanks for tuning in. As we know, slow season. We've gone over this ad nauseum. Slow season, not a lot to talk about. But you know what? We're just trying to keep the Joneses at bay, trying to keep hockey at the forefront of the mind as we head into training camp and then October 7th. Drop of the puck, sunshine, Florida. So let's get into the top 4 topics that we got today. Believe it or not, the Blackhawks might not be the worst team in NHL this year, at least according to new projections from Jay Fresh, who put this out on X. And I know, I was surprised as well, but let's take a look. So as we inch closer to training camp, we're getting more and more projections, rankings, speculation, of course. Some of it is noise. Like a lot of what I say is noise, but some of it's useful. And all of it is worth keeping in the back of your mind until April. On Wednesday morning, our friends at J Fresh Hockey dropped the projected NHL standings of the 2025-26 season. And here's the headline: the Blackhawks are not in last place. In fact, they got 4 other teams finishing below them. The Sharks, okay, that's kind of been the case the last couple of years. The Flyers, the Flames, as well as the Ducks. So those 4 teams. And that's right. The Hawks are projected to improve and avoid the NHL basement. They're still dead last in the Central, with 12 points projected behind both Nashville and St. Louis. But with this projection, we have them finishing with 75 points, which would be a 14-point jump from last season. And that's progress. So honestly, that's exactly what this year should be about. So let's talk about the fine print, because there's some important caveats with Jay Fresh's model. The projections were based on current NHL depth charts, so no assumptions about lineup shakeups or surprise cuts. They don't factor in injuries unless they're long-term absence, like Chichuk out in Florida. And rookies are given a WAR value of 0 because there's no NHL data to project from. So guys like Demidov, Nikishin, and yes, Artem Levshinov are all valued at 0 WAR right now. So the last part, and that's huge for the Blackhawks, because if Levshinov plays anything close to the level that we think he can, and Sam Rinzel plays meaningful NHL minutes, then the model is probably underestimating the Hawks. And it's not just Levshinov and Rinzel. Don't forget about Oliver Moore, Nick Lardis, remember him, and Sam Savoie. Even 1 or 2 of those guys hitting their swing and hitting their stride could really swing the needle a few points. So yeah, the projection gives us a decent floor, but the ceiling depends on how many of these rookies pop early. So let's be real. No one's expecting a playoff run here, but if the Hawks finish with 75 points, that's clear improvement. That's development. That's meaningful games in March of all times. And that's all you can ask for at this stage of the rebuild. Now, yes, they still have Chicago finishing last in the division, but this projection gives fans a reason to watch, to care, and to track the growth all season long, and then build upon for seasons in the future. And worth knowing, Jay Fresh tied for the most accurate projections in the NHL last season. So that being said, they also missed big on the Blackhawks, off by 21 points. But hey, so did a lot of people. Last year's veteran signings didn't pan out the way they thought they would, and we've already talked about a bunch of that on this channel already. So here's the question: do you buy the Blackhawks finishing outside the basement this year? And who do you think will have the biggest impact that this model isn't factoring yet? It's definitely worth a look. All right. Moving on from there, we got 312, right? That's our beloved area code of Chicago. We've also had, we've had 3 first-round picks the last 2 years in a row. 312. That's 6 first-round picks in just 2 years. That's not just a rebuild. That's a full-on franchise reset. Like, there's not a lot of teams that have had that kind of luxury on having that many picks early on. So Blackhawks fan, if you're wondering whether this team is truly building towards something, yeah, the answer is yes. So let's break it down. So the Hawks have made 6 first-round selections over the last 2 drafts. It's a lot of draft capital. It could change everything. It isn't just throwing darts at the board. This is rebuilding a core from scratch. Most franchises need 5, maybe 6 years to stockpile this much top-end talent. Chicago did it in 2 years. And these aren't just the same type of player either. They've added size, speed, scoring, two-way skill, and depth at every position. And they've done it in a way that complements the guys already here. Connor Bedard, Kevin Korchinski, Frank Nazar. This group isn't just exciting, it's balanced, which is so key. So let's talk about the last 6 first-round picks really quick. In 2024, number 2 overall, Artyom Levshunov. This kid has franchise defenseman written all over him. He's big, mobile, mean, confident with the puck. If Seth Jones had more offense, then you'd get something like Levshunov. He's the real deal. Coming in at number 18 last year, Sasha Boisvert. A big two-way center with a cannon of a shot and strong 200-foot instincts. Think Ryan O'Reilly light. This guy's built to anchor the middle 6 and wear down teams in the playoffs. And then at number 27, Marek Vanacker. Explosive scorer from the OHL, great pace, high motor, natural finisher. He could end up riding shotgun with Bedard if the chemistry clicks. He's got top 6 winger written all over him. And then this past year, number 3, overall, Anton Frundell. Smooth, steady, responsible. Frundell already plays like a veteran, and if he keeps the offense going and developing, he could be your Elias Lindholm type, the perfect center behind Bedard and Boisvert. Number 25, Vaclav Netrashil. Big body, goal scorer's mindset, loves the front of the net. His skating needs work, granted, but he's got power forward written all over him, a classic power style or playoff style winger. And lastly, number 29, kind of the dark horse, Mason West. A north-south winger with a nasty shot. Still raw, but the upside is there clearly. If he finds consistency, he could be like a Brock Boser type of scorer, which fits perfectly with Bedard's playmaking. So here's the bottom line. The Blackhawks didn't just throw picks at the draft board. They built a modern team. Speed, size, skill, hockey IQ. There's depth at every possession and different player types that all fit together. By 2026-27, this team should be a real problem. Even if 4 or 5 of these 6 guys hit, we're talking about a group that could push for a Stanley Cup soon after. Hey, come on, keep it, it can happen. So the Blackhawks haven't just rebuilt, they've reset their identity, and it looks like something special is brewing. So here's my question for you. Out of these 6 first-round picks, who are you most excited about? Levshunov, Vanacker, Frundell? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. All right. Moving on from there. We're building this team. We're building this great core. And guess what? Now the nation's going to be able to see it because the NHL just dropped the national TV schedule for 25-26. The Blackhawks are getting plenty of primetime love, surprisingly. 15 nationally televised games, including opening night, which is awesome, rivalry matchups, and more. So let's break it all down. The NHL and its broadcasting partners nationally, that's TNT, ESPN, and Hulu, have announced their national TV lineup, and we got those 15 games, right? So it all starts on opening night, October 7th, when the Hawks take on the defending champs, Florida Panthers. Florida will be raising their second straight Stanley Cup banner, and then they get Connor Bedard and company right after. That game airs on ESPN's main channel, so it's a marquee slot for Chicago to kick off the year. And after that, the Hawks have some highlight matchups across TNT and ESPN Plus throughout the season. On TNT, they're going to take on the Devils on November 12th, the Rangers on December 10th, the Blues multiple times, October 15th, December 12th, and January 7th, and the Wild on St. Paddy's Day, March 17th. TNT loves a good rivalry and a big market. The Hawks give them both. On ESPN and Hulu, we're going to see the Hawks against some pretty tough opponents. We got Tampa Bay, October 23rd and January 29th. Carolina, January 22nd. The Wild again on March 19th. Los Angeles, December 4th. And the Golden Knights in Vegas, December 2nd. And that's some serious competition. And it's going to be a test for the Hawks, especially with so many young guys playing so many minutes. And worth knowing, the local broadcast info for Chicago Sports Network hasn't even been released yet. So I'll let you know when that happens. So what all this mean? The national schedule tells us a few things. One, the league still believes in the Blackhawks as a big TV draw. And let's be real, Connor Bedard and the next wave of talent, they are. Plus, Centennial season, so much romance about that. It's going to be great. Number 2, there's going to be a hard schedule. And look at the run of games: Vegas, Carolina, Tampa, the Rangers. No cakewalks. And then 3, the Hawks. The NHL wants eyes on the rebuild. If the Blackhawks take a step this year, everyone's going to see it. And that they struggle again, well, then that spotlight gets kind of hot under the collar really quick. So also keep in mind there are a few games that time changes have been announced. So on October 23rd, Tampa Bay now starts at 5:45 p.m. December 4th at LA now starts at 9 p.m. March 17th against Minnesota is now a 6:30 p.m. game, and March 19th against Minnesota also starts at 6:30. All these are Central times. So, what do you think? Which national TV game are you most excited for this season? Is it opening night, which I definitely am. It's going to be amazing. What about that December stretch down with New York and Vegas, or one of the rivalry games against Minnesota or St. Louis? Boo, St. Louis. Who knows, right? So let me know. Drop your thoughts. Drop your comments, because we always love talking about those. And speaking of that, we do have a comment to talk about, just one. But we got it from Spencer Hawk, 9742. I believe he is a repeat offender as well. He says, nice show, PJ. I'm the same age as Rocky, so I hate Dollar Bill as much as Reinsdorf. At 73, I'm a tad desperate regarding this extended rebuild. Oh, I hear you, buddy. I hope to experience another Cup celebration sooner than later. Go Hawks. Spencer, at 73, you're going strong. You know what? I really hope that we have several Stanley Cup raising in the rafters ceremonies for you, just for you, buddy, moving forward. So let's keep that. Let's project that. Let's visualize it, make it real, and it'll happen. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for being a part of the community. And that's a wrap for today, folks. As always, drop your comments. We love those. Thank you so much for tuning in every weekday. Thank you for getting your Blackhawks Daily download. Thank you so much for keeping to subscribe and like, and of course sharing the channel. Really appreciate it. Means a lot. And also, thank you for being on this journey with me. It's the 100th season, centennial season of the Hawks. We're celebrating the best team in hockey. The record might not show it, but the fans, we are the best fans in hockey. So thank you for being a part of that. Thank you for being, celebrating Chicago, the best city in the world. So really appreciate it. That does it for today. I'm PJ, and I will see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.